Session for the 2023 NWBA National Tournament for Women's Intercollegiate Wheelchair Basketball. My name is Spencer Thompson, and just to make sure we have for the record, if you could both state your name and what your position is with the team.
Okay. I'm Josie Oslickson, head coach of University of Arizona Women.
Emily Gustafson, super senior player.
All right, perfect. I'll have a couple questions to start out, and then it'll be over to Alex Booth here, and then the rest of our media crew present. They'll have questions as they see fit. So, Coach, I'll start with you. What do you feel what is your assessment of your team at this point heading into the national tournament?
I really get the feeling based on our practices recently and what we've learned in the season games that we are peaking at the right time and really coming together chemistry-wise. So I'm really excited to see what we do this week. I think nationals is really just game by game who shows up that day, and I think if we have a good day, we have a good chance at showing out.
And Emily, if you have any other thoughts you'd like to add onto that and how you feel the team is right now.
I definitely feel like we had our ups and downs this season, but I think we're coming into nationals pretty strong and united, so I'm excited to see what we can do.
Now, Coach, I'm interested. So you graduated from Arizona in 2020. What a time to graduate, right? During all that circumstance. What was that experience like for you to graduate in the peak of a worldwide pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I was actually playing with Emily my senior year, and we were set to go to one more tournament and then nationals, and all of that was canceled for us. So I didn't go to my senior nationals. And then it transitioned into the previous head coach stepping down during that crazy time period, and then the job opened up, and now I'm head coach, and it's been a really weird turn of events, but definitely something that I'm grateful for, because not many people get the opportunity to be a collegiate women's wheelchair basketball coach, so I feel lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. And Emily, as a senior as well, you had that experience throughout the last couple of years, which kind of shook up your collegiate career. How did you get through that challenging part in the college scene?
I just held on to the fact that I'm still going to have a few more years. My first nationals was my junior year, and I feel like that's not common for a lot of people, so I just held on to the fact that I had a few more years, and I have new teammates coming in, and it was just really exciting time, actually.
Absolutely. Now, of course, this season, there's certainly in your all's case, there's not really a close program to you to Tucson, where a lot of times you have to travel by flight to be able to get over to Texas or Tuscaloosa or any of those programs. How would you say you've overcome that challenge of having to travel a large distance to be able to compete?
I think when the team was just starting off, it was a transition of taking that accountability and that step of independence of flying. It's a lot easier than just hopping on a bus and taking a nap for 16 hours. You have to learn all the steps of how to travel with extra equipment and all of that. But I think we embrace the fact that we get to travel together as a team all across the country and far, because it really provides a lot of bonding experiences for us when we fly together. And I think a big thing, too, is, we really welcome other teams to come to us, because we know, other teams don't usually fly, but they do have to fly to us most times. So we're really grateful when people choose to come to our home tournament. It's a big deal.
Yeah, and we were out in Tucson a couple months ago for your guys' tournament, and certainly Nationals is here this year. Illinois is in the rotation for 25, but Arizona will be hosting in a couple of years for both the men's and women's tournaments. What does that mean to you to be able to bring that national spectacle out to Tucson?
It's really exciting. Tucson is such a basketball city. We just love basketball there, and we have so many fans of the U of A. So I think it'll be cool to put on a show at McHale in wheelchair basketball. And I think we'll have a lot of support, and it'll honestly be our first tournament in McHale. So that means a lot to us, because we're constantly going to games at McHale to support Arizona women's basketball, Arizona men's basketball. So for us to be able to host a tournament there is a huge deal, and really excited to share that with everyone that comes.
Emily, so you're from Minnesota. It's a whole different environment in Phoenix and in Tucson. Was there a huge adjustment getting used to the heat and not seeing any snow out in Arizona?
For sure. Another huge adjustment was trees, just a whole different like landscape and water. I'm a huge fan of like lakes and stuff. Minnesota, over 11,000. So yeah, it was quite a transition.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'll keep this back to you, Emily, in that certainly there's, with any sort of athletic team you get into, culture is an important circumstance. And as a senior and one of the leaders of your team, and I'm sure Coach can reflect on this as well, in that there are certain cultures that you want to establish at the front. What do you feel is the culture you've tried to implement with your team this season?
I think our team, I just wanted to like have a program that people will respect and like just people that can like talk about us and be like, yeah, those girls are nice, and just be able to like not have anything kind of bad to say about us, I guess, and just always be excited when we're like up, like they want to see us do better, because I feel like that's how it's been since I started. I just wanted to see this program like thrive, and it's finally like getting up there, and I'm gonna leave and then see this keep growing, so I'm very excited about that.
Absolutely, and the coach certainly starts from the top when you try to implement some sort of culture. So anything you want to add on to what Emily reflected on?
Yeah, I mean, just going off of what she said, I think that, like Emily's like a really great example of just being a really good but humble player, and very like being a player that people can respect, because she's not like talking trash on the court. She like just goes out there and does the work, and I think that's something we do want to carry forward. But like from my perspective, just building the program in our third season now, it is definitely something where we want to keep building to be an elite basketball program and keep working our way up into the top 3 teams. It's been a story of us in the 4th seed for the past couple of years, and that's all right as a starting point, but we definitely have ambitions to keep growing the team and keep recruiting stronger classes and just keep competing.
And Coach, there are some programs that don't even have assistant coaches or people on staff that are supporting and helping you throughout the journey. You're fortunate enough to be joined by an assistant coach and equipment manager throughout your journey. What has it meant to you to have their support throughout the season?
It's honestly invaluable, because we do have an assistant and an equipment manager, but they're not paid for all the hours they put in. Like our assistant coach is part-time, but she definitely goes above and beyond that hourly limit. And our equipment manager, she's a student worker, so she's definitely just made a choice to join us and support us. And yeah, they bring things to the athletes that like are beyond the scope of what I can give. I think as an athlete myself, I think I've formed really strong bonds with assistant coaches, sometimes over the head coach, right? Because they're always there to like, I don't know, like joke around with, or like, I don't know, if you have to talk to them about something, it might be easier than the head coach. So I'm really, really impressed with like the relationships that our athletes have built with our staff, and it feels good.
Absolutely. And one of the last questions I'll have for you on this is you've certainly got your quarterfinal coming up against the Warhawks of Whitewater. So what is the biggest expectation, and this could be for both of you, either expectation or goals you have heading into this quarterfinal?
You want to go first?
I'd say, honestly, we just want to win. We want to play our game. We've struggled with that a little bit this season, just playing our game, honing down on our skills, and carrying it throughout all 4 quarters. And that's like probably one of our main things, is just make it through that 3rd quarter and finish out the 4th. But yeah, I just want to see this matchup again and hopefully do really good.
Absolutely. Anything you want to add on to that, Coach?
Yeah, we just don't want it to be a close game. We've had some games with them this year where like we haven't made it as obvious that we're the higher seed, right? And we want to come out here and make it obvious and have a good start to our tournament.
Absolutely. Alex?
Hey, Coach. Just hitting on Whitewater, obviously they're your quarterfinal matchup. Just watching them the past couple of years, they seem to do a really good job of getting better throughout the season. So what are you really focusing on going into the game that makes them such a difficult matchup?
I think they have gotten stronger, and props to them for doing that. Our biggest factor is stopping their key threats, right? Like they have threats that are very obvious on the floor, and then they definitely have people that maybe struggle to be offensive threats, and so we want to prioritize taking away the advantage of their threats, getting in scoring position.
So Emily, you're obviously captain of this team, leader of the players out there on the floor. Just how is it like just kind of keeping your composure out there and being the leader while also, having high intensity and competitiveness as well?
I think we play our best when we have communication, so as long as I can keep my talk up, which I struggle with sometimes, but if I can keep my talk up, my girls are going to talk with me, and at that point our energy just keeps rising from there. So that's one of the main things that I just feel like I have to focus on personally in order to help the rest of my team.
And Coach, obviously everyone says, want to be playing your best basketball going into this month, this time of the year. Just how has been your evaluation of your team's play the past couple of tournaments?
I think we've had really, like Emily mentioned, we've had highs and lows. We've had games where we surprised ourselves with how well we did against really tough matchups, and then we had games against maybe easier matchups where we didn't wake up for it and we just didn't show up for it. So I think it's a matter of we've worked on all of the things that we can work on at practice strategy wise. I think like she mentioned, communication is a huge factor when it comes to our team having energy, and we just got to come with the right energy this tournament. It's all about that. We know what to do on the court. It's just a matter of being awake and with it.
And Emily, just being a captain of the team, how have you seen just the team in the locker room gel throughout the season?
I think we have pretty good chemistry. We do little team bonding stuff all the time. We all, there's no separation in any of the girls. I think we're all able to just, we, like you said, we gel on and off the court, and we can just really hang out with anyone. So I think that definitely helps our chemistry on the court for sure. We can just talk about problems whenever we need if we're having them, and
And this question's really for either of you, but every tournament I go to, I always see your team dog with you as well. Just what is the story behind the dog, and can we get a name as well?
You got it.
Kahoot is our team mascot. Kahoot, like the game. That's Lily's service dog, and he's our buddy.
Yeah, I always see the ears dyed team colors as well. So It's always just fun seeing it come along on the tournaments. Just what is really your goal? Spencer kind of asked a bit about it as well, but entering the game, you guys, every time I watch you always seem to come out with such high energy coming out of games. Is that something, a message to kind of send in practice or before the game starts?
We definitely make sure that we're focused before the game, and I think we're always emphasizing we have to have a good warm-up to be focused and to bring energy. So I think we start games with that strong burst usually. It's a matter of keeping it throughout the game. That's the biggest challenge for sure, but definitely feasible.
Anyone else got anything?
Hi. So, Coach, what is the biggest thing technically you would like to see your team capitalize on?
We've been working a lot on different defenses, different defensive rotations and stuff, and I want to see us have a really good defensive tournament. We've also been working a lot on our confidence as far as scoring, and I think there's not one right or wrong way to score. There's a lot of options of how to get to the basket, and I think I just want to see our athletes go for it and just go in with confidence when you're in a scoring position.
So, as a coach, in what way have you seen your team grow this season that you're most proud of?
I've seen a lot of leaders step up on our team, and like Emily mentioned, it's not like anyone's stepping on each other's toes by being a leader. It's we're just embracing the fact that if we want to be an elite basketball team, we have to have a team full of leaders. It's not just going to be one person bossing anyone around. We all got to get stronger together. So that's been really cool to see. We have a ton of sophomores on this team. Our team is mostly sophomores, to be honest. And all of them are acting like upperclassmen already. So that's really exciting to see as well.
So, Emily, you talked about how in the locker room the team has really started gelling together. As a team leader, how do you encourage that kind of connection between your teammates?
I think if we have, like I mentioned earlier, if we have issues or problems that we're not usually having or something, we're able to talk about that, and I'll have girls come to me and just kind of mediate conversations maybe, or whatever the case is. It's not super common that we have problems, but when we do, we're able to figure them out.
Love to hear it. Coach, one last question. So what has it been like? What has the transition been like going from player to coach?
It's been fun, honestly. I've learned a lot as a coach now that's made me a better player, and vice versa. I think being an athlete at the elite level has made me a better coach. It's kind of fun because I'm still simultaneously doing both with Team USA in this, and I think it keeps me humble and like respecting what these guys are doing. The work that U of A is putting in, like I'll go to a USA training camp and we're running drills and I'm getting tired, and I like come back and I'm like, okay, that's probably how you guys feel. So I feel very in tune still with probably what their needs are, and if they need a recovery day or if they need time to have individual conversations with us. And I think it's helpful to do both.
So, Emily, we touched on earlier about how traveling has really brought your team together. What are you looking forward to the most through this trip to nationals?
Probably just like hanging out with my team for my last nationals, just kind of vibing with them and just feeling that chemistry and hoping that we can all just lay it out on the floor and do our best this tournament.
Does anybody have a question?
One question for each of you. Emily, early on you said that you want to play your game, that Arizona needs to play their game. What does that look like? What would you say is when you know that you guys are playing your game?
I think just like consistency with our communication and energy. Like when we come out with it from the start, that's when we really know we're about to play our game. And when we're just constantly gelling and just like we just have this look about us, we're having fun. Like we're all, there's no like one person leading.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everyone kind of doing their thing, and it just all comes together.
Great, thank you. So, Coach, it's exciting that the University of Arizona is building this program now, and this is maybe the third season. In addition to putting a quality product on the floor, what else do you guys do that integrates the program into campus life at the University of Arizona, and how has that campus been for embracing this sport?
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little sick. Yeah, so it's been fun to see the growth of just like awareness. This past January, we just did a halftime show at McHale for a sold-out Stanford crowd, a women's basketball game, and that was really fun. And like we've had people coming up to us since then, being like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know we had a women's wheelchair basketball team." And like that's all it takes, that ripple effect, to spread the word. We've also had like demos around town and demos with the women's basketball team where they've hopped in chairs with us and we've shown them how to play our game. And yeah, we have a really good relationship with campus. We're based out of our Disability Resource Center. So yeah, all of our programs across the states as wheelchair basketball teams they're based in different parts of the university. But we feel very lucky to be like in the Disability Resource Center because we have our own like adaptive gym that we have 24/7 access to. Our recreation center is very supportive of us and gives us like free gym time and full access. And yeah, we still want to build to get more visibility for our sport and more equal access to extra resources. Like we just got our first sports psychologist from the athletics department, and we want to keep getting resources like that because all of that support staff helps the athletes and just gives them more people to rely on, which is what we need. Yeah.
So, Coach, I wanted to ask about, certainly you also mentioned you have double responsibilities with working with Team USA, and yourself and your assistant, Courtney Ryan, it was released that you're on the preliminary roster to potentially go to Paris in the later summer. What does that mean to you to be able to represent your nation at the highest level for the sport?
It's awesome. There's nothing like it. It's very surreal. I do feel like now that I'm kind of a veteran athlete in that scene, I do feel like it means more to give back and sort of like create a pathway for others. Like every time I go to those training camps or those tryouts now, I know that I'm not just going for myself, but I'm going so that like our U of A athletes can see that and know that there is a clear path to get to that level. And just representing Arizona at that level. I know Courtney feels the same. Like it means a lot to us to have that representation from Arizona at the Paralympic level. And we're beyond excited about Paris. I mean, if we make the cut, it's going to be, we're going for gold. That's for
Absolutely.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and you certainly are also going for gold here in Tuscaloosa. So, a question for both of you: what would it mean to you to bring a national championship back to Tucson?
I mean, it would be incredible. I think, like I mentioned earlier, nationals, it's just about who shows up that day. And I'm a big fan of like college women's basketball, and it's all about the upsets, man. And I know we have some tough matchups and some easier matchups, but I think we just have to go into each game like super, super fired up, like there's nothing to lose, and at least make this an exciting tournament, right? And try and like achieve our goals little by little.
Yeah, exactly what Joe said. We don't really have anything to lose. You never know what's going to happen in each game at the start of each game. So I think that brings us a lot of excitement and energy because, yeah, you just never know what's going to happen. If the other team's going to have an off day and we're going to be playing our best game, like we don't know. So just going in with that attitude.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both for your time, and best of luck to you here in the tournament this weekend.
Thank you.